Welcome everyone trickling in here. We'll start off with a few announcements, some exciting events coming up. First is the day-long virtual retreat on June 10th. And I'll post all of the links to register for these events as we move along this morning. But this is being an everyday bodhisattva, the four faces of Buddha's love. So that is one that is coming up. The next item is a two-part, 2 Saturdays class on I Can Teach Anyone to Meditate, a virtual beginner's mini course. So it's exciting to have that opportunity available. And finally, Lama Surya discussing Awakening the Buddha Within, doing a deep dive on Saturday, July 22nd. As he's going to share some readings and favorite stories that led to writing this. So definitely looking forward to that. And without further ado, I will turn it over to you, Lama.
Imaho. Thank you. Nice to see you all. Yes, we do have some good things coming up. The four faces of Buddhist love, the four Brahma Viharas, loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity or equal to all. A wonderful subject, very important Mahayana Buddhist subject. And also awakening to the Buddha within. After 30 years, I'm getting tired of that title, especially because I'm thinking, or my Dzogchen super ego conscience or Kempo Rinpoche is reminding me that the Buddha is always awake, and we just have to awaken to it, to within. So maybe it has to be awakening to the Buddha within, not just awakening the Buddha within like it's some kind of sleeping, I don't know, lazy bones. On the other hand, there is the relative situation that we are all sleeping Buddhas. We just have to awaken to what we truly are. That's a more gradual path. So I'm a big fan of, I love, I represent, I'm in the lineage of the non-dual direct access enlightenment now teachings, tradition of Dzogchen, Mahamudra, swooping down from above with the bigger picture, the view, while climbing up from below through relative practices. Still, I like to think awakening to the Buddha within, or to our best self or our true nature. It's a beautiful day here. I hope it is wherever you are. I know the nature gods and goddesses, the elements are agitated. The environment is changing. Even yesterday, I got a text from His Holiness the Gyalwang Drukpa in Nepal. Literally, in English, I'm just saying literally what he said. How's it going these days? And there's definitely going to be some hiccups for the next generation or generations, I can't remember, especially about the environment and economic situations. So that's something for us all to think about and consider, and what kind of world we're leaving the kids, the next generations, the planet. Probably throughout history, and I'm no historian, much as I like to read that stuff and think about it and even learn its lessons. Throughout history, people have said things like, try to leave the world a better place, or I tried to make this world a more beautiful one, or a safer one, or a more peaceful one, or at the very least, we try to see that our children have a better life than we did. So I wonder what we're thinking and what we're doing, and if those are in congruence or in contradiction. course, those are big collective problems: global environmental degradation, the atmosphere, the issues of potable water, pandemics, threats of nuclear proliferation. I hesitate to even say the word nuclear holocaust, God forbid. What are we doing about it? What can we do about it? Big question. People know about and talk about the power of one. The woman who sheltered Anne Frank and her family in the attic for years in Amsterdam famously said, I can't do much, but one person can turn on a small light or be a small light and illumine a whole room. So inspiring, somebody who stood up to the Nazis. Can you imagine? I'm not sure I would have done like she did. I would say her name, but I can't pronounce it. Meat geese, something like that. A Dutch name, worth remembering. She said, I'm just a secretary, but one small person can turn on a light that lights up a whole room. Well, good for her. Love her. What an image. And we're in the light business here. Enlightenment, inner illumination, being a light, a bodhisattva, a light in the world rather than a blight on the landscape. She inspires me, and those words inspire me. A small light that can light up a whole room. I see there's some flickering around my lips. Forgive me, it's my new lipstick. I'm always looking for the right shade. I don't mean electronically, I mean at the store. Electronically, I can't fix it. I don't know what's happening, but don't worry. It's just part of the fun today. You know, sometimes one might think I'm just making up stuff for fun, but even in the spiritual tradition, even in the Tibetan Buddhist Vajrayana teachings, even in the Zen scriptures, you can read it. It says one moment of satori or breakthrough or awakening dispels the darkness of ages. I don't even want to call it a small light. We may just be like her, like she described herself, just a secretary, which is not how I would describe anyone, but we may just be one little person in the 7 billion on this planet, not to mention the gazillions of other beings. But one moment of wakefulness, of awakening, of satori, of spiritual epiphany, one moment can dispel the darkness of ages. It's a teaching. My own teacher, Kala Rinpoche, said it, quoting from the scriptures. Something to remember, I think, and not to get daunted or feel despair and hopeless by the news or the big problems that we confront today. And we have probably always confronted at micro and macro levels. What's happening in this country, this partisan divide, the mental health fallout from the pandemic, hardly yet to be assessed. What's happened to American education, which has fallen so much by social measures, racism. Need I mention multiple killings and the proliferation of guns? Anyway, as a bodhisattva, we follow Sung San Sanim, the Korean Zen master of Providence, Rhode Island, who came from Korea, Sung San, who said in his third or fourth language, spoken English, just go straight ahead 10,000 years. bodhisattvas. Another teacher, I can't remember who in history, somehow was called to answer a question or to mention, even if we're the last bodhisattvas on earth, or even if oneself is the last bodhisattva on earth, why would I relinquish my altruistic, compassionate bodhisattva vow to illumine and awaken and help all to heal or rebalance the world, as it says in Hebrew, tikkun, to rebalance the world, to holify the scattered sparks and pieces of light, which in Judaism is all our souls. Tikkun, tikkun olam, healing, rebalancing the out of kilterness of the world. So let's have a moment of silence, including all in our prayers and aspirations, setting good intentions, highly positive intentions, letting go of our daily preoccupations, settling and arriving, including all in our prayers and practice and sterling aspirations today, especially those in war-torn places, like we all know about the Ukraine, the Palestinian, Israel, latest conflict, not to mention many other places, the Sudan and other places, shooting wars in 30 or 40 countries of the world today, continuing this century, last century, not just the world wars, including all, especially standing, or should I say, as a meditation teacher, sitting with our Ukrainian brothers, sisters, and etc. Others, other letters, including all in our hearts, joining heads and hearts, even if we can't right now join hands and shoulders with the world, with its suffering, with its anxiety and fear and confusion, with its hatred and prejudices, with its divisiveness. A moment of silence, beyond words, just being together, co-meditating, intermeditating, interbeing, opening our hearts, minds, souls, spirits, one and all, one and all in one, as the four Buddha tears said. Eyes open, facing the world, not trying to escape, not just going deeper inward into our comfort zone, getting away from it all. How about getting into it all, breathing out and dissolving into it all like a salt doll, wading into the sea of wholeness, of oneness, of tikkun olam, of unity and diversity. Seeing through the illusion of separateness. Make me one with everything. Everyone. Turned inside out, naked. Just being, not a being, not separate. Naked, being, dense, essence, beyond words. Demon light, divine light, beyond words, I come forward. Ah, that's it. Say for Dr. Das. Ah. This is how we practice Dzogchen and Mahamudra. Some might think I'm fooling around, acting strange, making shit up. Yes and no. The four Musketeers, yes, I meant the three Musketeers, the three Buddha-tears. But Chukyinima Rinpoche always said, this is how you practice Mahamudra. And he would go, ah, through my hands, ah. My commentary, like a bird electrified on a wire. It's now or never. Ah! The ultimate perspective, Mahamudra, the grand gesture of awareness, infinite awareness, cosmic awareness, not just personal, but transpersonal, not impersonal, transpersonal being, pure presence with awareness with a capital A plus, just being with a capital B plus. See? Seeing is believing. I say believing is seeing in the faith traditions. The light through which we see and are seen. In how wonder, wonderment, awe, rapture, incandescent presence, what words can contain it? This is Dzogchen and Mahamudra. This isn't ordinary mindfulness of breathing, character development, concentration. Nowness awareness, the true awake Buddha within. The Mahamudra refuge in the three Buddha tears, the three tires. One in all in one, as it says in the scripture, as well as in the novel. Ah, you can't say ah without the out breath. Can't do out breath while thinking very much or clenching. Ah, sit or get off the pot. Ah, inhale. And enjoy the joy of unmeditation, undoing the habit of overdoing and overthinking. Non-meditation, just being, not doing, achieving, learning, accomplishing, accumulating. Openness and awareness inseparable. Just being here now, as the masters say. This breath, only breath, this moment, only moment. Ah. Yes. Oh, thank you. I love it. Love you. The Wizard of Oz. May the force be with you in the flow, in the flow, the Tao goes with you right now. The Wizard of Tao. Not very special, but part of it all. Including all. Interconnected, interbeing. Yes. I see you. Eyes open, ears open, nose open, mouth open, throat open, diaphragm open, anus open, decontracted, everything open, heart and mind open, natural, relaxed. First, we say attention, then at ease. It's a balance. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 May all beings be happy, content, fulfilled. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 May all be healed and whole again. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 May the planet itself be healed, rebalanced, restored. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 May there be peace in this world, outer peace, inner peace, and in between. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Shanti. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. An end to war, violence. Om Mani Padme Hum. At home and abroad. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Shanti. Love to one and all equally. Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Love unconditional, divine, flowing freely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Oh, breathing it out, breathing it in, radiating and reabsorbing it simultaneously. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Peace, harmony, shanti. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Love to one and all, unconditional, divine. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 From the heart chakra, the heart opening like a sunflower. Om Mani, warming up, opening, blossoming. Om Hri. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. You, me, we. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 From me to we, the Bodhisattva way. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Oh, Mani Padme. Oh, love, compassion for all who suffer, just like we do. Oh, Mani Padme. 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 Only a path with heart. Oh, Mani Padme. 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 Oh, never apart. Oh, Mani Padme. 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 Oh, oh, Mani Padme. Oh, Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Heart opening like a golden sunflower, radiating like a warm golden sun, light rays reaching out, touching all, embracing all, healing all, awakening all. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Nathan, could we see Kempo's dedication prayer and the Millennium Prayer, please, on the screen to go out praying and share positivity with all? share the merits and good fortunes of our practices and efforts here, for the benefit of one and all. Through the merit of this virtuous practice, may the light of the Buddha's precious teaching remain for ages to come, the ground for every single kind of benefit and happiness. May all the supreme holders of the liberating teachings who uphold its living truth agree to live on for aeons and aeons, and their lotus feet and Buddha activity remain firm in this world. And so, may the sun of altruism and well-being, bodhicitta, in all its blazing splendor, shine the brilliant light of the study and practice of liberating Buddha Dharma throughout every possible corner of the universe. This universe, all universes, all beings, seen and unseen, known and unseen, past, present, and future, or in English, for one and all. And the Millennium Prayer, please. May all beings everywhere with whom we are inseparably interconnected and who want and need the same as we do, may they be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, safe, and free from harm and anxiety, free from fear and oppression. May there be peace and harmony in this world, and an end to war and violence, poverty and hunger, greed and cruelty, inequality, and all the rest. May we better prepare ourselves for the natural calamities that beset us all, and may we all together complete this glorious, blessed spiritual journey. One beloved community, one Sangha, one satsang, one circle, one family, one mandala, one samaya, one heart and soul, all the way Om. The ring of truth. Yes, thank you. It's always hard to say anything after that. I do want to open the floor to questions. First, let me say we've been chanting the mantra Mani Padme Hung, the mantra of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Chenrezi in Tibetan, Kuan Yin in China, Chinese, Guanon, Kanzeon in Japan, Korea, etc. The embodiment, the archetype, the Buddha of love and compassion, the Dalai Lama's mantra, Yidam Deity, Istadvaita, true identity. The Dalai Lama is considered an incarnation of this, the Buddha of love and compassion, Avalokita. And practicing the four faces of Buddhist love, loving kindness, metta, maitri, compassion and empathy, joy, rejoicing, celebrating, and equanimity, equal to all, including all in our hearts and prayers and practices today. We'll talk more about that with the day long on the four faces of Buddhist love, the four Brahma Viharas, often translated as the four divine abodes, the four heartitudes, how Buddha rolls, the four gears, the four Brahma Viharas, God abode, how the gods are, full of these. We certainly need that in our world. So cultivating and practicing, it seems to me very, very, very important, helpful, meaningful. Any questions or brief sharing, please?
Lama, there are no questions, but I might ask a question about questions, which is I've heard your answer on this recently. Sometimes I think it can be a little intimidating to ask a question in a public forum or of the Lama. And I'm just kind of wondering, do you have any questions that you sort of are like, that's not a good question? What's your reaction? Do you have some guidance on how you feel when you hear these different questions?
I love question and response. We used to call it Q&A. Now we call it Q&R these days, in the new languaging of equality and diversity. I love questions, all questions. Kala Rinpoche used to call me the ocean of questions, and encouraged me on when I had doubts about that. As long as it's sincere, a real question, if it comes up, and I'm not sitting here judging who's sincere or what's real, I'm just saying from one's own side, not just to, be heard or fill up the space or I don't know what. Usually I feel very identified with or empathizing or like sympathetic to the question and the questioner. And it's often a question many people have, if not the people in the room, people in other rooms of the thousands of rooms I've been in over the last 50 and more years of Dharma practice and retreats and monasteries and Dharma centers and conferences and symposiums and so on and teacher meetings. In short, I often feel like the questioner, even if they ask some basic question that people often ask, like, what's the difference between Vipassana or mindfulness and Dzogchen? Or why make an altar? What's a Buddhist altar? Basic. Well, what to do about my knee pain? Those kind of questions I always feel naturally. I've been there. I asked it. If I didn't, the person sitting next to me asked it. We need to know. We want to know. Like children. You're a parent. Nathan, how do you feel about your kids' questions? Are you like my father, who got so tired of my dear mensch father, who got so learned father, intelligent, good father, who got so sick of my questions one day, he said, Jeffrey, look it up. I said, where, Dad? He said, in the encyclopedia. That's why we have those 25 books in the dining room sitting there, dusty. Open them up. Okay. So after that, he said a few more times. So me and my siblings used to call him ask the encyclopedia, Dad. That was like a little nickname. I don't get sick of them. There's few enough. Questioning and investigation is so important. Even according to Buddha and his own teachings, this is not something to believe in or just to follow blindly, but to check it out and see if it's helpful, conducive to your awakening, to your spiritual progress, to your benefit and all. He said investigation, questioning is one of the 7 factors of enlightenment in one of his main teachings. You can look it up, the 7 factors of enlightenment, 7 ingredients for Buddha's recipe for enlightenment, investigation, mindfulness, and so on. So I feel very good about questions, and I like to see more. When there's no questions, I don't particularly think this, but I hear voices just like we all do in our head. I don't mean we're hearing voices and I need therapy. I go to therapy, but not for this. I hear one of my teachers, Shempen Dao Rinpoche, said, if nobody has questions, I wonder if people are really learning and thinking about these things. There's some really, different levels and complexities and questions in these teachings and philosophy and practice and mysticism and karma and the world and why do bad things happen to good people? Why do good things happen to bad people? Many questions we could have. So I feel very good about it. Moreover, I think the Q&R period, formerly called Q&A, I have to keep saying that, is very, very important to American Dharma, to Buddhism in the West, to whatever we call it. In Asia, there wasn't always a question period with group teachings. It came down from above. It was lecture style. Maybe it was being translated. It took a long time. If there was a Q&A period, those of you who have been in Asia know there would be one question and then a 15 or 20-minute answer, and that would be the end. So I think the Q&A, this kind of Dharma dialogue, I don't know, the Zen teachers have a funny name for it in Japan, Dharma combat, that's Zen style. I love it. I'm not encouraging you to fight with me. I don't want to fight with anybody. I'm just saying there's a lot of fun and juice in that. It fuels the vehicle of the Bodhisattva Yana, the Mahayana. So it's good. And we should have questions. There's a lot of, also, we're looking at these ancient, old world, 2,500-year-old teachings in translations of translations. You know, it gets a little imprecise. Is it really true what everybody says? Life is suffering. Is that really the Buddha's first noble truth or fact of life? I see it more as Buddha said, the unenlightened life is full of dissatisfactoriness. Check it out. See what the word dukkha really means. Look up the 23 definitions of the word dharma by Edward Kanze. One might have some questions about what is the dharma. It's a word like Torah. What is your Torah? It's a word like, well, I don't know. I think there's like Hindu Dharma. It says the Bhagavad Gita. There's Buddhist Dharma. You know, it's a way of life. The word Dharma means that which upholds. It's the ground, reality, whatever. So I love the questions and the questioner all the more so for asking. And if I may say so, I hope, I believe, I think I'm fairly patient, if not gracious and understanding with questions. Also, I like to hear the next question, like where's the question really coming from? Not just the first one that you ask, you know, but what's behind that? What do you really want to know? Deeper than what's the difference between mindfulness and Dzogchen. That's just an example, but yes, inquiry, very important. I love it.
Lama, thank you so much for your time today and for always being so patient with our questions and open to these. It's always such a help. And thank you all for joining. Check out the chat for links to register for upcoming events. Hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Thank you, Nathan, Menla, and all of you who have helped put this together. And thank you all for coming and being together. Love you all. Have a beautiful Sunday.